Hi, and welcome back to our Why Behind the What series. This edition features recharge. What makes you feel recharged? Maybe it's a full 7 to 9 hours of sleep at night. Maybe it's a weekend unplugged from technology in nature. Maybe it's your environment, going somewhere that makes you feel at peace and recharged. Maybe it's at the lake. Think about summers right now. Or for me, I love the coffee shop. What does recharge feel like to you? Where do you find that? As you're thinking about that, let me pose a question to you. We know of ways to recharge ourselves, but when is it actually where we take the time to realize that our battery, our energy reserve, you're going to hear me reference that it's critically low and needs our attention and needs to be recharged. You see, we're conditioned to know when our phones need to be recharged, right? We get a notification or like our screen starts to go a little bit dimmer. We get that red bar at the top that says it needs to be recharged, and we got to find the nearest outlet and hope that we got our charger on hand because we just don't want to be without our phones. But we really don't give ourselves that time or that attention and care when we are feeling drained, when we need a recharge. Giving you some data here from Healthspan, they report that adults report feeling drained nearly 3 hours out of every day. Do you know that translates to 6 weeks a year just by feeling tired? Why is this? Why do we continue to run on empty? We know we need it, but we just don't take the time to slow down and give ourselves that care that our bodies need. Let me give you an analogy today. So I'm going to compare ourselves, our battery, our energy reserve to our phones, right? Because we're so conditioned. So I think it's a good analogy to start with. So let's say that you go to sleep at night and you give yourself a full 7 to 9 hours of sleep so that just like your phone, when you plug it in at night, you're going to wake up feeling 100%. Okay, so picture that with me. And you're going to wake up and you're going to grab for your phone. Typically, most of us, I think, use our phones as our alarm clock. And you don't even have to snooze it because, you feel rested, right? And you go to turn off your alarm, but then you're so tempted to open up or conditioned or you subconsciously open up your email and you start answering emails. Or maybe you open up your favorite social media app and all of a sudden you're scrolling and who knows how much time has gone by and you haven't even got out of bed to brush your teeth yet. Okay, so we started at 100%, but now we're at about 90%. And you go throughout your morning, you're getting yourself ready. Maybe you have to get some people that live with you out of the door in the morning and you make it to work. And now you're spending about 8+ hours at work, meeting with colleagues, finishing some projects, doing some different assignments. And that takes up a lot of time and energy. And now the work day is ended and either you're commuting home, maybe through traffic, maybe you got some errands to run, maybe you're in that season where you're trucking the kids along in the minivan to the next soccer practice, and you finally get home and you're probably at about 30% now. Yeah. And, maybe that's a special someone asked you that very popular question at the end of the day of how was your day today? And, most likely you might say it was pretty good. However, this happened because your brain favors negative information and you might just get into this rumination cycle of the things that didn't go well in your day. And then from there, you got to make the dinner and get the kids to sleep, maybe if you have some at home, and you may finally get to decompress on the couch watching some Netflix, and now you're at that like 15-20%. And okay, if you're thinking about our phones, we would have that alert. We would know, got to plug that phone in. But for us, you may stay up just a little bit later. You might answer that one more email or open up that phone and scroll for a few more minutes. And again, you didn't give yourself that time and attention that your body, although our phones have alert systems, our body actually does too, right? It may be at night where you can barely keep your eyes open, or maybe it's the next day and you're bobbing your head, or you feel that afternoon slump, or maybe you're craving the carbs because your body just didn't get enough sleep, and that affects different hormone function. It's amazing what it does. So, okay, we know that it's important to rest. But do you really understand that rest is the most underused, chemically free, safe and effective alternative therapy that's available to us? But we still don't use it, right? every activity you do throughout the day requires energy. It's going to take energy away from your reserve that you wake up with or start the day with. And there's things that you can do throughout your day that can replenish that energy store, right? Because if you're not replenishing it throughout the day, you're just going to come into this energy deficit, right? And we don't want that. So here are some things on how to rebuild your energy reserve. Number one that I'll hit right off the bat is exercise. And coincidentally enough, that's what we started our Why Behind the What series, was our exercise. So if you haven't watched that edition, you can go back and watch that. But exercise is so important. It releases serotonin, which sends a signal to your nervous system of happiness and well-being. When you exercise, you have these endorphins that run through your body. If you ever notice, like before you start the workout, you're like, ugh, but after it, you feel energized and ready to feel like you can take on anything. Exercise is super powerful, and doing 30-45 minutes a day, that can up your energy reserve by 20%. Okay. And you need that recharge throughout the day. Okay. Then next is maybe meditation. So the flip side of exercise, where what the gym does, or like exercise does for your physical body, meditation does for your mind. So it's really slowing down, curating the time to tune in with your breath. Again, it can up your energy reserve by another 20%. It's vital. Another way to recharge that we've already mentioned is sleep. 35% of us do not get the recommended amount of sleep. And we just have talked about how important it is. It helps your body fully recharge. The body goes through certain processes. So it takes new information and stores it, and it helps get rid of toxic waste. Nerve cells communicate with each other, and it definitely helps repair the body, especially if you're doing a workout. It helps your muscles repair. There's just so much that happens that I think sometimes like, oh, I lost a couple hours of sleep tonight. No, it actually really has a big impact, and your brain can actually atrophy over time. Like it can shrink if you're not getting enough sleep. Another thing that you can do to recharge and rebuild the energy reserve is your relationships. Like, do you have deep connection in your relationships? Okay, it's shown to help with our emotional energy, empathy. It can actually, as research has shown, that it's lowered anxiety and depression. And it can really just leave us. I know when I have a really great conversation with a friend or meet up over coffee or whatnot, I feel energized. I feel like my cup is more full, right? It actually fills up your battery or your energy reserve. So that's another way to do that. So now that we know how to recharge and why it's important, my challenge for you is to schedule it. Yep, schedule it on your calendar, just like the meetings on your calendar each day, just like you need to get the kids to the soccer practice. Like, it's that important. You need to show yourself that it's a priority in your day. And if you're thinking right now, like, I have so much on my plate, I miss out on sleep because I'm trying to get all my things done. Well, how well are you doing those things if you're not recharging? A good hack that you can use is habit stacking. So what I'll do is, I might do my gratitude practice, which is good for your mind to focus on positive emotions. I'll do that with my coffee brews, right? Or you can, if you're in a meeting, you can stand up and do some stretches. That's a way to move your body and recharge throughout the day. I also encourage you to share it with somebody else. Have some accountability in saying, I need to recharge throughout the day. Would you want to do this with me? Or can you make sure that I do it? Maybe it's at night, doing some stretches before bed with your partner or spouse or with your kids. Show that it's important to you, and they'll probably benefit from it too. And accountability is the glue that ties the commitment to the result. I also want to tell you to give yourself the permission to recharge and regroup without feeling guilty. I think many times we think, we might be lazy or not productive, but that's just the thing. Taking time to recharge is productive too. So my last challenge to you is to start recharging yourself as much as you recharge your phone. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.